Hi guys, it's Suzanne HB, Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram, and this tutorial will be on the positive and negative design, which has been done by the very clever aka Me, Myself and I on Instagram. You can see her account up on here, and this is the first post she did of her positive and negative bracelet, and since then she's played around with it and we've had all sorts of different colours she's done with it. And you can see the reverse side of that, because on one side you've got one set of colours and the design is the same on the opposite side but with the opposite colours. And she's also done these really cute and clever borders on it. She's got to teach me how to do those so that I can do those for you on another tutorial, which is one colour on one side, one colour on the other side. Very cool. And then she's expanded it even further with this one and taken it out for an extra border. So she's got a really nice account. The thing that amazes me about aka Me, Myself and I is when I post a design, she looks at the photo and just works it out. So she doesn't even wait for the tutorials. Occasionally she might need a close-up photo or something, you know, a side view or something like that, but she just has a talent that I don't have in looking at a design, sometimes quite complicated, and being able to recreate that on her own hook. It just amazes me every time she's done that. I think her record is about 25 minutes after I posted a design. She had it, bam, on Instagram, a replica. So it just blows me away every time. So yeah, very, very creative person. And this positive and negative bracelet, I must say, it is a little fiddly. This is not something that you would do as a beginner. Hook only loomer. I would probably say it's an advanced design. It's not so bad once you get started, but a little bit like the Kumihimo by Lumi Mama. The first part is a little bit tricky. Once you've got that, it flows a bit better. It's still fiddly, but it's easier to do. So I'll show you hopefully how to get past that first hurdle of getting the first couple of steps done. Alrighty, so let's get on with it. I'm going to use today, so I'm actually making one for my husband for tomorrow as well, so I'll show you that one. This one is done with silicone bands from the Ocean Mix Pack from rainbowloom.com. It's actually coming out quite nicely. I was a bit concerned. It does take a little tweaking when you get to the end of it. You just need to even out the sides of the bands, because sometimes when you're making it, and I don't know whether this could just be me, but I get the sides a little bit uneven and I just have to kind of give them a little bit of a tweak out so that they end up being even and sit straighter. But other than that, once you've done that, you get this really cool pattern with the reverse colours on the sides. So as you can probably tell, I think this is such a clever design. I'm going to demonstrate it with limited edition bands because I think they probably are the easiest band to do this design with if you happen to have limited edition bands. I've tried it with the limited edition and the silicone. I haven't tried it with opaques as yet, so you could give that a go if you would like. Alright, so we're going to need our hook and obviously some bands. It doesn't take very many bands. It's a very thin bracelet. I'm going to use these two for contrast. I think they should look quite pretty together. So it's the pale gold, I think, from the Mixed Metallics limited edition, and the glitzy bronze, I think it's called, this one. It's got a bit of sparkle in it. I think it's glitzy bronze. Okay, so now the first step is like any hook only, well, most hook onlys. You need a cap band on there, a figure 8, and then we need another single chain. Now this is bracelet is actually just based on an interesting loop done with single chains. That's why it's so thin. Alright, then we put our second one on here. Now this first part isn't so tricky, but what you've got to do is keep track of where your bands are. So I'm hoping to keep my fingers in the light so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you need to remove the hook. So you should have these bands sitting clasped, not too firmly because you're going to work with them, but firmly enough that this band at the top doesn't fall out. you need to go in either by going in like this with your hook, or by getting your hook and hooking it around like this and then going in. So you grab that right hand loop of the bronze band, then you go around the outside and in through the gold band, through the other gold band. Now I put my fingernail between the bronze and the gold because you want them to stay on the inside. So I just put my finger sort of there holding that. And then you get this other side of that front bronze loop and you lift it up and over your hook. But you wanted that to stay, which I just didn't do then. You want this to stay on the outside of the gold. So the gold need to be the inner layer bands. Okay, that's the only tricky part of this, is that you want the gold ones to be the inner part. Now, what I found, and I'm really trying not to get in your way here, is that I push on the front of those gold bands so that you've got some nice clear loops on the back here, because this is what you want, is these loops on the back here. Now be reassured, this is not something you're going to have to do every single time, and it won't look this fiddly once you get it going, but it is tricky for this first layer. And obviously it's harder since I'm trying to show you. So that's effectively the shape you should be looking for. Now what I just did before, as it's kind of an odd thing to do, was if you want to, you could just make sure that those loops don't go anywhere by putting another hook or a little skewer or something through those while you draw the next band through. That way you know you're not going to lose them. Okay, so I'll go over to my bronze and just pull that through. Okay, and hook that on. We've got those gold bands not going anywhere at the back there because we put that through it. Okay, now we need to remove it from the hook and turn it round. Each band that we do, we're going to remove it from the hook and turn it round. So we're going to remove it from the hook and turn that around like that. Okay, so at the moment we should have this single chain. We should have 2 loops that we're going to work with from the back of the bracelet hung onto here. Okay, what we're going to do is take off this right hand loop with our hook, then go through the bronze ones we're holding there, and then we take this, slide that hook out and put that one on there. Now that hopefully will mean that we end up with a set of bronze bands on the inside and those gold loops on the outside. All we're going to do now is exactly the same, but we shouldn't have as much trouble with these inner loops wanting to escape on us now. So we've just put through the bronze band and hooked up the outside. Now the trick to knowing which band colour comes next is, according to aka me, myself and I, you look at the colour band that's sitting on the outside, and that's the band that you need to pull through next. So we'll pull through a gold band. Now we need to remove it, turn it round. Now we can rehook it here just to get, I'm going to rehook it to show you what we're looking at. Now you can see we've got those 2 internal bronze bands, but they're not trying to escape, and these 2 external gold bands. So what we're going to do is we're going to loop up these bronze bands to the outside of the gold bands. So we're going to remove it from the hook, and without squeezing it quite too hard, just so long as we don't lose that, we're going to grab that bronze band, the gold band, and then we're going to pick up this bronze band is left in the middle and hook it over. Okay, now we have bronze bands on the outside, gold bands on the inside. So again, we're going to take the bronze band, because that's the outside colour, going to draw that through, keeping the bands in order. So I like to pull them over one by one like that, because it is easier if you're doing it as a crochet way, it's easy to pull the bands along with you and get them out of order. So I would recommend pulling those one at a time. Okay, now when you get to here, I've discovered the bands aren't going very far. They're quite tightly held in there, particularly something like the limited edition. So instead of hooking it back on and turning it around, I've just been turning it around and releasing it. So you're left with this. And this is what it's going to look like for most of the way again, all the rest way to the end of the bracelet. So once you've turned it round, you've got those two front loops you're going to be dealing with. You're going to hook the right of those to the right outside, collect up the loops from the band you've just pulled through, in my case the bronze, and then you're going to grab this side of that gold band and loop it up. Okay, now we've got bronze bands on the inside, gold bands on the outside, so we're going to go for the gold again. Since it's the outside colour, that tells you which colour you should be pulling through. So we pull it through, and again I would recommend you pull over one band at a time as you get to them to keep them in that nice order, like so. You can hook them and turn them around. So there's a lot of work off the hook in this design, but you can use your hook whenever you want to keep it steady, to do turning or changing things around. We've got two bronze bands on the inside there that need to come up to the outside. So, sorry, just readjusting so I can show you. So we can grab that outside, that inside bronze band on the right, take it around the outside through the gold bands, making sure the bronze stays on the outside, getting the bronze band again on the left and lifting it up and over. We can start to see how that's starting to form the pattern. Okay, so we go to here. We've got bronze bands on the outside, gold bands on the inside, so we want that outside colour again, just bronze in mine. Pull the band through one at a time, keeping that order. Very important to keep the order. You can rejig it, but the bands are pretty fiddly, so it's much easier to keep it in order than try and get it back in order. Try and put that roughly in the center. You can either hook it, turn it, I'm hooking it on so I can show you without it falling off. Okay, so again, those inside bands are going to end up on the outside. So in our case, the gold sitting here needs to be hooked to the right one to the outside and around and through, and then the left one over the hook like so. And you can see we're starting to get the look of the opposite side of our bracelet. There's our reverse colours. Cool, huh? Very nice. And it's so thin. It's very, very thin. like so. Okay. So again, we just keep going. That's the pattern all the way to the end. And we just need to keep it so that those inside bands come from the inside out, and we don't pull it through and end up with, like, I'll just do it like wrong, kind of intentionally. We don't want the gold band from the outside going over the top of that bronze band and having it pop through, whatever, like that. You really want that bronze one to stay on the inside. Bronze bands on the inside for this layer, gold bands on the inside for the next layer. Okay, so I'll show you how brave I can be with these LE bands. These ones aren't really going anywhere because of the tightness of the bracelet, so what I've been doing is just letting go and turning it around, and then gently grabbing a hold of that one, not putting any pressure on at all. See, it's very soft, going around, collecting up that one, and then pulling that one over the top. Like so. So we'll do that a couple more times, and then I'll go back and I'll just actually give you a demonstration again of the start. 2, 3, 4, keeping them in order, making sure they're on the inside. So you can use your hook to turn them around and get repositioned, or you can just do what I did. You be the judge of how well your bands are sitting. So once we've got that one on the outside there, we grab this one that's just sitting there waiting for us on the inside, and up and around onto there, being attacked by bugs as I do this out on my deck. It's so hot, so I apologise for the sound of the fan in the background. Alrighty, so last time we've got gold bands on the outside, so that means the next band is going to be a gold one. Going through all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Collecting them together, turning them. We can put the hook in to reposition our fingers if you like. Like that. So you can use the hook as your friend, your tool. It can be really helpful in this. Getting these two bands in between those two bands, around the outside, through the gold bands, like so. Sorry, just getting attacked by these little tiny bugs, attracted by my lights. Grab that middle band and bring it up and over the hook so that that balances out. And there you can see it's actually starting to go really nicely. Now all of these pieces are just one band, so if I pull on this side, I'll do it at a bit extreme. If I pull it on this side, it's actually going to change the opposite side. So to even it out, all you need to do is give it a tug on both sides and make sure the bands are even. So it works out really well. Alright, I'm just going to let that one go. I suppose I should tell you about the closing off, but you've probably already guessed about the closing off. All I would do is grab a colour that you've got on the outside there and pull a band through, like so, attach a C-clip and come back to your cap band. So up to you whether you want to keep that cap band, maybe do 2 of the same colour for that cap at the beginning so that you've got the cap band the same as that side. But of course, if you turn it over, that's going to match the outside on this side. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, which you use as the cap band and the closing band. Alright, I'm going to go back to the beginning, just in case you've watched this and you're going, I'm so puzzled. Okay, so let's start this again. Cap band. make sure I've got some focus. Okay, grab the opposite colour and pull it through. Grab the first colour, pull it through. Okay, so this step, not quite so tricky, but we're going to, let me see if I can, doesn't want to focus on me now. We get these bronze band, put our hook through from the inside, pointing out, and then coming back around, going through both those bands, and then finding the inside band for the left and pulling that over. Now, this is the tricky part, making sure these gold bands stay on the inside of these bronze bands over the next steps. Now, I showed you one method of doing that before, and that would be to put another hook or a skewer or something like that through those. You can do it without that, but it is fiddly. I'll attempt it without that to show you. What I would do is I would get those, oh, see, it wants to escape. So I would actually just bite the bullet and say, you know what, this is easier if I just get myself, because even a toothpick would do it. Really, anything that just will go through. So we've gone through, we've gone around the outside there, we've gone around the outside here, like so. So I would really recommend getting something, and it doesn't have to be another hook, it really can be anything, as I've said. Pulling those two loops out and just popping that through so that they don't disappear for the next steps. Okay, and as you would have seen, you don't need this for the next steps going forward, you just need it for now. Then grab the next one, next band, pull it through. Take it off and turn it round. And then we're going to grab this one off with our hook and push it through the middle ones. And we can slide that hook out because we've got a hold of that band and hook that band up like so. And from then on, it really is much simpler to keep your bands in order. And as I said, the only thing I'd really recommend is every time you do it, is pull those through one at a time. Rather than I would normally do it in a crochet way, you know, pulling things through. So every time you pull a band through, you turn this around and loop the inside to the outside. Sorry, my thing's going blurry now, losing focus. So hopefully with that extra explanation of the first part of the bracelet to get you going, which is the tricky part, you'll be able to get through this no problems at all. And I know that aka me, myself and I would love to see your renditions of this really cool bracelet, and I'm hoping that I will learn how to do that kind of cool border, and I'll be back with another tutorial sometime in the future showing you that one. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've liked this and it's helped you out, could you please press the like, and maybe you'd like to subscribe. I'll have other tutorials coming out. And go check me out on Instagram, Crazy Just Might Work. And if you want us to see your renditions of this lovely cute bracelet, ta-da, if you can tag us on your comments and your pics, and also hashtag Crazy Just Might Work, hashtag aka me, myself and I, and also Positive and Negative Bracelet. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Bye.